Welcome to chapel. Lord God, we thank you so much for today, for bringing us here, bringing us here safely. And Lord, we just pray for those who are not here. There's a lot of people who are starting to get sick, and a lot of people who are here who aren't feeling 100%. And that can just affect so much in the day, Lord. And we just pray that you will be with those who are not feeling so well, and that those who are homesick, that you'll bring them back home, bring them back here soon, Lord. Thank you for this time that we can have here in chapel to worship you, to bring our hearts and our bodies, our whole selves before you, Lord, in a humble offering. And bless our time together. Bless my words, Lord, and may we have a time that we can understand a little bit better the role of community in our lives, and we lift us up to you, and we pray. Amen. Okay, so life groups. How many of you have been in a life group before? How many of you are currently, you want to continue in your life group into this year? Okay, can you actually stand up, those of you who are in your life group? Stand up. Okay, so if everybody else, look around and see who is in a life group. Because all of these people can give you an idea about what that experience looks like. So if you have questions, go to these people and talk to them. Thanks, guys. Sit down. Okay, so life group, it stands for here, laughter, interest, faith, experience. Life groups are to connect students with each other, to connect mentors with students, and connect all with their Maker. So this is kind of what life groups are about. Life groups, small groups. A lot of different people have names for all these different groups, but here we call them life groups because we do life together. Question for you. With which picture do you relate the most? We have 3 pictures up here, and they all stand for some aspect of where are you when it comes to community. So just take a second to look at them. We have a desert. Can you see what's in the middle? Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. It's a chameleon. See the green lizard and the wings there? Kind of hiding. And then we have, yeah, thank you. And then we have flowing streams. So where are you when it comes in terms of community, in relationships with other people? So the first picture, we have the desert. The desert, if we're relating that to our lives and community, that means feeling pretty well. When you think of desert, you think dry. You think parched. You think, man, I'm thirsty. You think of cracked terrain. Not a whole lot of water. Not a whole lot of refreshment going on. Maybe that's where you are. Maybe you're feeling like your community life is pretty dry. You don't have a whole lot of people in your life that you feel like you can go to talk to feel like you can be yourself. You feel pretty alone. You feel like there's not really anyone who's really there for you. If this is you, then you're feeling like, hey, I need some community. I need a place where I can feel connected to others. When I moved here about 3 years ago, I didn't have a community. I left my church, my home, my family, my friends, everything behind, and I came here. And when I got here, I felt pretty much deserty. Thankfully, I had my husband, and so we were going through life together, and that helped. But there was a lot of people praying for him, I'm sure, because I was an emotional wreck. Like, it was bad. I did not have a community. I didn't have a safe place where I felt like I could just be myself. I didn't have girlfriends that I could hang out with. And let's just be honest, girls, you know this. There's just some things you like to talk to guys about because, guys are just different than girls, and it can just be pretty much relaxed. But there's some things, girls, that you just need a girl to talk to. You just need that. And I didn't have that. And so that was kind of how I felt. I really wanted to be connected, but I wasn't. And therefore, my life, it just felt very empty, felt very dry. Maybe you're feeling like this chameleon. I'm so glad you said you couldn't really see what was there, because that's the point. What do chameleons do? They blend in. Yeah, good job for reading the slide. Chameleons blend in. They're known for their color changing, and that wherever they are in their surroundings, they kind of change colors to fit in. So that way they're not seen, they're not really, it's really a kind of self-protection thing, so that way there aren't little beasts that are going to kill them because they can't see them. And maybe that's kind of how you're feeling in your group. Maybe you feel like you just kind of have to blend in with who's around you. Maybe you feel like I have this group of people, and in order to be safe, or in order to be like in community, I need to be like them. And maybe that's an okay thing for you. Maybe you have a good group that you feel like when you're with them, it helps you be a better version of yourself. But sometimes we find ourselves in communities where we feel like, in order for me to blend in with them, I need to be doing things and saying things and acting in ways that I'd rather not. But if I don't do that, then I can't be with them. So are you feeling like you're just trying to blend in? Or, the safety mechanism thing, self-protection. Maybe you're just scared, to be honest. And sometimes even with your closest friends, you feel like you can't be safe with them because they have a certain perception of you. And maybe there's been things going on in your life and you feel like you're changing, but you feel like your group of friends is not changing with you. So how do you do that? Are you just kind of chameleon-esque, staying with them to have that safety mechanism, and so you just try to, like, I don't know if I'm safe to share who I really am with them. So I'm just going to kind of continue doing these things and saying these things so that way I still fit in with them. So where are you at with that? Yeah, so if that's you, you just need a safe place where you can feel like you can be you. The third picture is this beautiful flowing water. I love water. I've always been someone who loves to just be in water. My mom would always just call me a fish when we go camping because I just didn't like to get out of water. It's so refreshing when you are by water. If you are ever going hiking and then you come to a stream, like you just sit there and you look and like, oh, it's so beautiful. You hear the creek going, you hear the stream flowing, and it is just peaceful. You can buy those CDs in the store that's like calming waters. You know what I'm talking about? Like the soothing waters. And you can just listen to music of water. And it will just soothe your soul, apparently. So, if that works for you, great. Buy that CD, listen to it. It calms you. Kind of like, But anyway, calming effect. So maybe you already find yourself in a safe place. Maybe you find yourself in a community that's really healthy for you. And so you feel refreshed. You are plugged in that youth group. Maybe you're in a small group at church. There's some really cool intergenerational groups that have some older, like grandparents, and then you have like parent age, and then you have youth. So there's some really cool stuff going on there. And if you're plugged in there, that's awesome. I really encourage you that if you're attending a church to get plugged in and to build your community there, to really invest in that community. Because that can be really life-giving, not only to you, but to the people in your church. Because the church needs to hear from you. You are a big part of the church. So if you are there, that's awesome. Be encouraged. Yay, I'm glad you feel like flowing water and freshness. That's good. So why join a life group? What is a life group? There's a few different reasons why it might be a good idea to join a life group. And we're going to watch one video as to why it might be a good idea to join a life group.
You get out of my way. Do you know who I am? Are you looking at me? Are you looking at me? Looking at you? Do you want this? First, and some of that, and some of this. You get out of my way. I got a little something for you. You like red and blue? Oh, look. I got a red. Oh, and another yellow. You know what that is?
to hide and be in a bathroom secretly expressing who you are, but that you can have somebody else who is like you, and you can be yourself. And there's nothing quite like being able to just be free to be you. And so in this first picture we have our feeling who's like hiding and like, you know, trying to be protected. And then this next picture, he's letting his true colors shine. Here, obviously, not feeling he's in danger, and so you can see it, the full, beautiful colors of this chameleon. How many of you, I might be dating myself a little bit, have seen Cheers?